Hey guys, welcome back to some more F1 2018 and part 14 of our Mercedes career mode. In today's episode we take part in the Italian Grand Prix, and the big news is that tomorrow's race is going to be heavy torrential rain, and that's going to be our first experience of the wet, like extreme wet tyres, you would imagine. So track position is going to be important, but you know, not critical. Although our pace has looked pretty good this weekend, so hopefully we'll be able to get another pole position. So here we come up the Parabolica, guys. We're side by side with signs, which has probably cost us a couple of tenths. But here we come up to the line. What's it going to be? It's a 120.8, which is pole position for the moment. That was a really good lap. And we've took pole position from Sebastian Vettel, but it'll be interesting to see what Lewis does on the lap. At 120.8 though, first car into the 20s. Well, look at this, guys. We're about 3 tenths up. I think we might just about be able to do it. We're coming up to the line now, and we do a 120.4. We nick pole position off Lewis Hamilton right at the death there, and that was a really good lap at the end there.
The excitement of qualifying, here's a look at your top three. The captain, Hamilton, and Sebastian Vettel. It's time to leave for now, but we'll be back tomorrow when the Grand Prix itself gets underway.
So we take pole position for the third consecutive Grand Prix, I think, with Lewis Hamilton in second, only 2 tenths behind. We managed to pull it out at the end there. Lewis Hamilton obviously didn't hook it up. He went straight into the pit lane, but there you have it. Another pole position, really good, to come out ahead of Hamilton. And we're 6.5 tenths quicker than the Ferrari at this stage of the season, which is insane on these sort of tracks. But we've certainly got some ones that we're likely to struggle on coming in the next few Grand Prix. But let's take advantage of this 1-2, if you like, at the start of this weekend, and hopefully convert it into a 1-2 in the race.
It's race day here in Italy once again. Monza, home to so many records. The smallest winning margin, for example. Do you remember in 1971, Peter Gethin beat Ronnie Peterson to the line by 1/100th of a second. There were 40 overtakes for the lead alone in 1965, and Kimi Räikkönen clocked a record top speed of 230 miles per hour here, just over a decade ago. So there's a lot to live up to then for all of our drivers today. With the rain coming down here at the 3.6-mile Monza circuit, the low drag setups preferred by most teams could cause them some problems in today's Grand Prix. So watch out for cars struggling for grip around Parabolica, the last and most demanding of this track's 11 corners. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. The captain lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Räikkönen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, Magnussen, and Sergei Sorokin. Ocon, they've taken a grid penalty. Gasly, Lance Stroll, and Alonso, Leclerc, Hülkenberg, Stoffel Van Dorn, and Brendan Hartley. Grosjean and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So here we are down on the track then in a very wet Monza. It is going to be very tough indeed, you would imagine, but a zero-stop race by the looks of it, so not much strategy going to come into it. The getaway was good. That getaway was brilliant. If we can get that on the start, then we'll be happy.
We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap.
Obviously a very long run up into the first corner. Whoops.
Sorry. No, don't do that. What good would that do? We can't do anything to the car, and we have a race to get on with. Do not try to come in, just warm up on the grid, okay?
I just thought I'd try that. I want a weather report though.
Suggests that this heavy rain will be with us for a while now. Full wets seem to be the fastest tyre for now.
Yeah, so it doesn't look like the weather's going to change.
Okay, our main competitors in this race are Ricciardo and Hamilton.
I don't know why Ricciardo, but hey ho. Let them catch up a little bit. But yeah, I'm very nervous about this race. Obviously, there could be quite a few mistakes from anyone in these conditions, so it's a bit of a lottery who might win this race. But if we can do it, then we're looking good for the championship. Most definitely. Oh. Yeah, the rain does seem to be easing up just a little bit. I don't know why. It just doesn't seem as heavy as maybe I thought it was. And, you know, we have a little bit of grip in the car, which is good. I made sure we put extra downforce on, so that would be alright in the race. And hopefully that'll come to something good as we line up on the grid. It's a very long run down to turn 1, very tight turn 1 as well. And given our history of starts, I'm not confident of leading into turn 1, but hopefully we can use our capabilities on the straights to get back into contention. But we do line up in pole position on the grid. We're waiting for everybody to get into line.
The rest of the grid is forming up. Be patient and watch for the lights.
I would not be surprised if somebody crashes into turn 1 and hopefully not into us. That would be a disaster. We're getting ready now for our first race on the extreme wet tyres. Lights out, away we go here in Italy, and that's a terrible start for us. Lots of wheel spin off the grid. Hamilton and Vettel and Raikkonen go past us before the first turn, and look at the amount of spray. This is impossible virtually to see where the apex is. Managed to go around the outside just about. Can we get the traction down ahead of Sainz? I think, oh my god, Sainz is there. Ooh, that could have been a disaster. Let's have a little look at that on the replay. So Sainz is there. We get the traction down, and as you can see, we're just sort of, well, it looks like there we push him on the grass, but I assure you, he clipped our tyres first. And then he went spinning into the other guy, so it'll be interesting to see whether there's a safety car or something like that. It looks like Hamilton is making a move on Vettel, but bottom line is we've made a pretty poor start to this Grand Prix. Perez having a look at Max Verstappen now before the Lesmos. Look at the spray.
Not a great start. Let's get back on track.
Tell you what, if we didn't have the racing line on, you would not be able to see a thing. Right behind now, and hopefully we can make a bit of inroads. We're down to 7th on this first lap, which is not good, but we kind of did expect it, and a terrible start. We got so much wheel spin, and basically everybody swamped us into the first corner. Having a little look at Perez, we might go down the inside into Parabolica. And we do. That's a good move. So now we've got to get Max Verstappen before they get out of our slipstream, and this should be a fairly easy overtake on the Red Bull, and it is. So we're through, which is good. So we're now back up to 5th place. Kimi Raikkonen right ahead of us, but Lewis Hamilton leading this Grand Prix currently. Vettel in 2nd, Ricciardo 3rd, Raikkonen in 4th. We're in 5th with Verstappen in 6th. Perez and Magnussen should drop back as the race goes on. Well, we've spent the last 2 laps catching up to the likes of Raikkonen ahead. We're only 3 seconds behind Lewis now, and this is going to be basically a sprint finish to the end. Well, we were right in Raikkonen's gearbox there, but maybe suffering from the dirty air. It is very, very tough running in the spray. Not a lot of grip out there, but hopefully.
Is an interesting one, but I think the right call is to stick with what we've got right now.
Well, it looks like we will be moving to intermediates at some point in the race, which is good. You know, it means there's a little bit of a strategy element, but it means we've got to get that call absolutely spot on. Well, this has got to be our chance. Ricciardo goes to the inside. Kimi Raikkonen remains on the outside. We're going to favour a better exit.
Doesn't look like it's moving anytime soon.
Well, look at these two. They're absolutely side by side. We hit the wall slightly there. I think we're okay. I couldn't see a thing. Got a chance of Kimi down in the inside into the Lesmos. Good move. Yellow flag's up ahead. That's Charles Leclerc who's out of the race. Interesting that that's not even a virtual safety car.
Okay, clear.
Well, we're right in the slipstream of Daniel Ricciardo here. This should be the chance to get back into 3rd place. Daniel Ricciardo goes to the inside. We have the outside line. He doesn't even look like he's fighting it. We lock up massively though. Just about make it around the corner. But Ricciardo will surely have a chance of a run down into the first sector split. I think we're alright.
In front is 5.2 seconds.
So now we need to chase after Hamilton and Vettel up ahead.
Okay, the safety car is out. The safety car is out. We need to form up at a reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive.
Well, that makes things very, very interesting indeed. Can we get it back under? We can just. We're going to use a flashback for that. Because,
okay, slow down.
we really don't want to lose position, Ricciardo. Come on, there we go. This Delta business is annoying. Like, I feel like the AI don't feel the Delta. Because they just pull ahead, but safety car is out. Which certainly opens up this race. I don't really know what's happened. It seems to just be something that happens. Maybe somebody goes off somewhere and it must trigger something in the game that the safety car has to come out. It's really, really weird, but we'll catch up to the safety car and then hopefully we'll have a nice sprint race to the finish. Coming in this lap, so Lewis Hamilton becomes the safety car now, and we're getting ready to have a sprint to the finish. 3 laps it's going to be. Who's going to come out on top? Not the whole of the field is caught up yet, so if you came into the pits thinking, oh well, I'll get fresh tyres, then you made a big mistake.
Predicting at least 20 minutes of heavy rainfall.
So it's all going to be about when Hamilton bolts. And he's gone. Here we go. We're back underway here at the Italian Grand Prix. Right guys, we're on the final lap. Unfortunately, we're not going to jump Vettel or Lewis on the podium. We are just going to finish in third. Maybe 1 or 2 more laps we would have needed to get there, and we've run out of fuel anyway, so hopefully we can get over the line. I think we will. But just a disappointing third place in this Grand Prix.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. So, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
It's got to be Romain Grosjean. He was in another league for me today. Really impressive.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. Mercedes have extended their lead at the top of the standings. After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
So there we have it then. Lewis Hamilton wins the Italian Grand Prix with Sebastian Vettel in second. We finished third, 4 seconds behind the race win. Ricciardo finishes 4th, Verstappen 5th, with Raikkonen in a disappointing 6th in the end. Magnussen 7th, Ocon 8th, Hulkenberg 9th, and Fernando Alonso completes the top 10. But you have to say, after dropping to 7th on the opening lap, getting back to 3rd was a good recovery drive. We just didn't have the pace in the end to quite get past Sebastian Vettel. We were quicker, but a slow restart definitely cost us there. If you have enjoyed this episode, then make sure you do leave a like down below. It really does help me out, means a lot to me as well. Subscribe for more regular F1 content, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.